Today I'm not going to be talking about video games, well, not directly, but today's kind of special video from me is going to be, well, you see it already. A little bit on the side, but I thought about making this video because I'm not sure if every Resident Evil fan, well, maybe the hardcore fans knows about this, but I think I'm quite sure there are many horror fans that doesn't know about the existence of this beauty. Resident Evil 2, the board game, which was released last year, I think I'm not sure, but I think last year in America and maybe in Asia, and this was released early this year in Europe or Scandinavia. Well, I bought this from a web store from Sweden, so I'm not sure if this is directly on sale here in Finland, but at least in Sweden, and I got this from the neighbor country. So yeah, this is not going to be an unboxing of this board game. This is more like just an overview of this board game. And just to let you know, guys, about the existence of this board game. Yeah, pretty much that's the main reason. And I haven't played this yet. I just received it a few weeks ago. It's just been there on the shelf. Of course, I have checked that all the equipment and things that should be in here are included, and yeah. So let's start by saying what this contains. 24 highly detailed plastic miniatures, 26 double-sided game board tiles, 44 terrain elements, 155 cards, 4-player health track boards, 11 tracker dials, 6 dices, 6, and they are not the same. They are different kind of dices, but yeah, in total there are 6. 40 tokens, 1 rule book, and 1 scenario book. And this is basically a cooperative game, up to 4 players. There is a solo campaign also. You can play this alone, but like any other board game, I don't think the board game are not really for one players, for solo campaigns only. They are made for, they are the social kind of games, and they require more than one people. And yeah, this is up to 4 players, and okay, let me talk about a little later about the enemies, game characters, and stuff like that. But let me first read the overview of this game. Resident Evil 2, the board game, is a fast-paced cooperative survival horror game for 1 to 4 players. In order to survive and complete each scenario, yes, this is kind of broken to many scenarios, and players will have to work together and discuss the best way to advance. With only limited resources at their disposal, even the most accurate character won't be able to defeat every enemy, and if one character dies, the whole group loses. So the cooperation is really important. You just can't leave your friend in a trouble, or it's game over for everyone. Players will have to quickly learn when to stand and fight and when to flee. Carefully designed from the ground up to deliver the terrifying and immersive experience faithful to the cult video game. Dare you try to escape the nightmare? Yes, and yes, let's talk about the enemies and game characters, or the miniatures. So the 4 players game characters who you can play are of course Leon and Claire, Ada, and I think the 4th is Kendo from the gun shop owner. I'm pretty sure about that. And enemies, there are different kind of zombie miniatures. There are also female zombies, which is a good thing. Zombie dogs, lickers, and 2 kinds of mutations from William Birkin. So those are the game characters and enemies. So there are not every enemy of the video game, but that's pretty understandable. But the main thing is that those main enemies like zombies, dogs and lickers are in the game, and of course the boss William Birkin. So what else can I say about these games? It's made by, let me see, Steamforged Games. So I've heard it's the same company who made, I think, Dark Souls board game, or is it a card game? Well, card game / board game, but they have made earlier Dark Souls games, so they are not new to the board game thing. So, and I've heard many good things about the Dark Souls board game / card game, and also I've read some very good reviews of this game, that it's really truthful to the video game and to the original Resident Evil 2 video game. This is based on that, not the remake, not the Resident Evil 2 remake of this year's. So yeah, maybe I'm going to delve deeper into this game, but yeah, this was a kind of overview of this board game, and just to let you know, guys, that this board game exists. And yes, the price. Well, it was not cheap. Let's just say that. I paid 110 euros. So how much that would make as a pounds or dollars? Maybe something like I don't know, 140, 30 dollars, pounds. Well, well, it's still quite expensive nonetheless. So yeah, it's not cheap, but in this case, it's a fucking Resident Evil, and it's Resident Evil 2 board game, the most successfully received Resident Evil in history, I think. The original RE2. But yeah, that's my overview, and see you in the next video, whatever it is. So until then, bye.